Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video is the loyalty box that we're having current patch, and we're gonna have Haley, Louise, Ginny, Abigail, Javid, Farah, Gabriel, Gaius, and Zora. So I'm gonna go through the R2, R4, R6 value, and also the Divinate. Even though this patch currently we don't have any Divinate from here, but maybe the next patch we're gonna have Divinate, who knows? So I'm gonna cover that part as well. Alright, so the first Esper I'm gonna put in Louise. Instantly to the no. Let's not talk about Louise, basically a useless Esper. And now we're gonna go through Haley. So Haley at R2 here with the Rezo effect of when Haley dies, gains Smelting Mastery to 2 allies without Smelting Mastery. So overall it's a pretty good Rezo. I wouldn't say it's actually the best, because most of the time if you use Haley in PvE, your Haley won't actually die. This Rezo is more useful in PvP. If Haley actually die, then we'll apply Tomb Smelting Mastery to your ally, which is good. For PvE, the situation is actually pretty rare to use. Then for Ginny here, Simmer Flame gains extra turns, so it's actually pretty good for Ginny to actually use the effect. But Ginny is actually very rarely used in the content now, so I would say no for the overall R2 value. Then for Abigail, reset ability cooldown for all ally Inferno Esper except Abigail herself. So this R2 effect here is kind of like between not bad to best. Depends on how do you use her with other Inferno Esper, but overall I would say it's the best value for R2, because if you use in Abigail, she can be used in Inferno Tower, can be used in like Shadow boss as well. If you really want to use Abigail, it's actually pretty good because she will reset all the Inferno Esper, like for example like Sujie, Elif, Sakura, their cooldown will get resetted. It's actually pretty useful, so I would say the best Rezo in terms of the R2. Then the next one is Javid. So Javid R2 here, the number of targets taking splash damage increased. So overall I would say a no for R2 as well. Like, we don't really need the splash damage. It would be pretty good for Memory Reef, but overall I don't think that Rezo is that valuable. Then for R2 Farah, after taking a hit, if Farah have synergized and if the attacker is a flow tune, then AP boost will change to 50%. So originally the AP boost is 25%. After the change is 50%. I would say it's not bad. Not really that changing, but overall I would say it's not bad. Then for Gabriel, R2 effect for Gabriel, extra DPS, I would say no. Then the next one is Gaius. Gaius R2 in Thunder King mode, normal form, all ally gain 20% accuracy. In Thunder King mode, ally crit rate plus 20%. If you are still a newbie, if you are still a new player, I would say the R2 effect here is actually pretty good because it will help your teammate. But if you're not a new player, then I would say it's a pretty useful, pretty useless Rezo. So it's between no to not bad in my opinion. Then the next one is Zora. Zora R2 inflict defend down to the target to 2 turns for your Galactic Rush. Defend down is pretty good, but Zora usage is not that high, so it's either between no to not bad. But personally, I'll put it at no. So all this here is based on their R2 effect, and now let's go through for the R4 effect. Alright, then for R4, Louise just straight into the no. Then for Javid, heals upon killing an enemy, heals based on 30% max HP. Depends on your Memory Reef. If you really die, then Javid would need a heal, but overall I would say no. Then for Ginny, when attacked by a critical hit, damage reduced. It's a good Rezo for Ginny, but Ginny is rarely used in most of the content now, so I would say no. Then for Haley, R4 effect is upon a crit, 20% chance of dispelling 1 buff from the target. It's pretty good in PvE. Sometimes if you crit and Haley will guarantee crit, then it might actually help you remove a buff from the boss or like Inferno Tower content. Overall it's a pretty good Rezo, and it makes you one step closer to R6 Ginny as well. So in my opinion, I would put it like somewhere best to not bad. I would say not bad. Then for Abigail here, let me check. Abigail R4 effect grants buff, then Abigail will heal herself, so I will say not bad as well. Then for Gabriel R4 consume max HP to do damage. No. Then for Farah, R4 effect 20% chance of ignoring resist when attacking is pretty good, especially if you use her in PvP, and she's pretty good in PvP as well. Then for Gaia's R4 effect, upon killing an enemy heals, no. Then for Zora R4 effect, after casting non-ability, then the next ability increase is pretty good for Zora, but in terms of content usage, no. So there's no best R4 effect within this Esper here, but if you want to say like with the Esper Rezo that in terms of R4 make them closer to R6, I would say Hayley or Abigail, if that's the case. Alright, so let's go through at R6. Alright, Louise instantly to the no first. Okay, R6 JV. You will instantly get the Scarlet Flame forever, and then you're immune to stun and sleep. You dispel all debuff from JV instead of just DOT effect before he launches an attack. It's a pretty R6 effect, to be honest. Like if they actually revamp his R6 effect, it's actually very good as Jinchu, but for me, no. Then for Hayley here, I would say Hayley have the best R6 effect here, because when Hayley takes a hit, will instantly apply Molten Hot to the target, and Hayley is mainly used in PvE very often, and it will forever apply the Molten Hot on the boss, and which is a very strong effect. So I would say Hayley R6 effect here have the best value. Then the next one is Abigail. Abigail here will reset all the ability cooldown for the target. This effect won't apply on Abigail herself. I would say it's the best as well. Now Abigail is mainly used in, like, let's say Inferno Tower, right? And maybe in PvP you're using Abigail to pair with like Moriyama, or maybe you pair with like Ming Shuo. The reset ability actually comes very handy, so it's the best value in my opinion. Then for Genie here, R6 effect is actually very suitable for her as well, but there's no content for her, or maybe in PvP there's a lot of easy replacement. So for Genie, I will say no as well. Then for Gabriel, R6 effect here, your immunity extend is actually a pretty good effect, so I will say it's not bad as well if your Gabriel Rezo is not R6 yet. And then for Farah, R6 effect, when any enemy is inflicted by freeze, they take extra damage. So this effect here is actually basically more DPS. I won't think that's that game changing. I will rate somewhere not bad to no, depends on your usage. Then for Zora here, R6 effect, whenever your ally attacks, there's a 15% chance for Zora to assist with S1. It's actually a very strong effect, but the assist chance actually have to be tuned. So in my opinion, I will say no for now. Then for Gaia's R6, when you use the Thunder Judgment and God King Judgment, which is the S2, your lightning summon from 5 times extend to 6 times. So basically one more lightning DPS. Overall, I will still say no as well. It doesn't worth the rezo for it unless you have the other Esper max rezo already. Then now let's take a look at that Divinate. Okay, Louise instantly to the no first. Then now let's take a look at Hayley. Hayley Divinate here, Hayley damage taken reduced from the start of the round until her first action. Her Divinate is more like for PvP content, and I'll say no. It's not worth to get Hayley Divinate. Then let's take a look at Abigail. Abigail Divinate here, before you're casting your taunts buff, which is your S1. Before you cast your S1, you have a 100% chance of reducing all Abigail cooldown for 1 turn. I would say it's actually not bad, because if you use Abigail and after you use S3, S2, then you're gonna spam S1, and your S1 have a chance for you to CD reduction, so you can spam your S3, S2 a lot more faster. So I would say not bad. Then for JV, when JV HP is above than 70%, Eternal Light final damage increase. I would say it's not bad, especially if you use JV for Memory Reef, or else it's not that good. Then for Genie here, it's good for Genie, but based on the usage, I would say no. Then for Gabriel R6, not R6, the Divinate here, I would say go until the best, because Gabriel, if you use in PvP, this Divinate is actually very strong, because you instantly get 1 turn of immunity. You will have the opportunity to block the Tolan S3, so instantly the best for PvP content. Then for Farah R6, when you cast your Gold Water Splash, which is your S2, when Farah casts S2, dispel 1 buff from each enemy, then 100% chance of gaining Synergize for 1 turn. I would say not bad as well, especially when you use Farah in PvP content. your S2 also can dispel buff, which is actually very strong. Then for Zora here, just nope, because you just increase the DPS but no content for you to use. Then for Gaius here, also no. When God King mode, increase your crit damage for only 1 turn, which is totally useless. Alright, so that's all for this video here. This loyalty box is not really that interesting. Overall, I would invest in the Rezo is Hayley or Abigail. Basically, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Gen MP, Yakishiba Epic Bullet Point, Sky Elk, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Seimer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwatts, Rimu, Choni, Antonio Winterspoon, Yim Cragren, Riku Fred X Iris, Calamity, Rocco Stenzions, Jordan Alons, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest 10. Thank you so much for Code Wardeners, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Choni. Thank you so much for your support.